Hi, just revising for my law exam tomorrow. I'm just going to tell you guys about the defense of duress. Basically, the defense of duress is where the defendant is forced to commit a crime because he's threatened by either death or serious injury. One of the main things that you have to know about is that it has to be a threat of death or serious injury. This is shown in the case of Valderrama Vega, and basically where it's got to be death or serious injury, and multiple threats can equate to this type of threat. Also, the person threatened is very vital in deciding whether it's successful or not. It can either be the defendant, their family member, or the passenger if they're in a car with them. It was shown in Wright that it can't be their boyfriend, because this girl was like, oh hey, I'm gonna go sell coke and tell the police that my boyfriend was friend. I was like, no bitch, you cannot say that shit. Say it's your mom, your dad, but not your boyfriend. No one gives a shit about your boyfriend. Hey ho. There's a test, the Graham test. Basically, it's like a subjective and objective test. The subjective test is like, hey, did he know? Did he think that there was a real threat of death or serious injury, and to commit the crime? And then there's an objective test, and then the jury is like, oh hey, would a reasonable person, do that shit, basically. If there's a safe avenue of escape, then this negates the offence, which is shown in Jill. But there is an exception in Hudson and Taylor where these bitches are like, oh no, he's gonna scratch my face off if I don't do this. But they were too young to understand, apparently. But yeah, there must be a nexus between the offence and the threat, basically saying, you've got to commit that offence. And they've basically shown this case of Cole, where the bitch was like, oh yeah, go get me some money right now. And then he's like, oh okay, I'm gonna go rob a bank. And it's like, bitch, I didn't tell you to do that, I just told you to get some money. Didn't actually tell you to rob a bank, did I? No. Yeah, if the duress is self-induced, this kid walked up to these people and oh yeah, can I be a part of your robbery gang? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then later on, they're like, fuck you man, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't rob a bank. And it's like, well, you walked up to them in the first place. Yeah, and intoxication also negates the defence. This is only if it's voluntary, that is. There's also the defence of duress of circumstances, which is where it's not like a direct threat. It's basically where you're driving along in your car. This is the case of Willow. You're driving along in your car, and they're like, shit, there's loads of teenagers on the road, I gotta drive on the pavement. And then you drive on the pavement, you're like, gosh, I just committed an offence. But yeah, that's basically the duress of circumstances. This is also shown in the case of Conway, where the bitch was like, oh, I'm gonna go and kill myself if you don't drive our son to work. Which is very, very an over-exaggeration, not gonna lie. You don't threaten to kill yourself because you're not driving your son to work. Drive yourself, you lazy hoe. The AO2 of duress is when basically, it should mitigate, not excuse, because basically you still did the offence, didn't you? Just saying. It's difficult to understand what the defendant was feeling, so it's really hard to decide whether it's worth committing the offence. It's harsh that the characteristics of the defendant aren't taken into account. Some people are really vulnerable and less tolerant of that shit. And then some people are like, oh my god, I gotta do this. And then other people are like, bitch, you're not gonna hurt my family. Yeah, you get the point. There's a lack of clarity because people don't know when police can help them if they were threatened. And the duress of circumstances is way too similar to necessity. No one's probably going to listen to this, so bye!